So this team's going to be built on, we're going to kick you in the teeth. All right. And when you punch us back, we're going to smile at you. And when you knock us down, we're going to get up. And on the way up, we're going to bite a kneecap off. All right. And we're going to stand up. And then it's going to take 2 more shots to knock us down. All right. And on the way up, we're going to take your other kneecap and we're going to get up. And then it's going to take 3 shots to get us down. And when we do, we're going to take another hunk out of you. Before long, we're going to be the last one standing. All right. That's going to be the mentality.
Well, Jack, it sounds good, but unfortunately, these young kids nowadays, that's old school talk. That's like 85 Bears and the 90s and stuff like that. These young kids, they don't have that mentality. So for him to come in and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, it's going to be very difficult for him to find those type of players, considering the young players, they just don't have that as their personality.
What are you trying to say? They're not eating kneecaps anymore? That's out of the game now?
Man, come on, Jack. You know them young players ain't thinking about no kneecaps and all that tough guy stuff. Man, they don't want that. And if you're trying to, and for the life of me, if you're trying to develop a quarterback, whether it's Stafford or a young quarterback, don't you bring in like a quarterback guy or a quarterback coach? Like wasn't he a tight end?
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a tight end, right?
It's definitely not a quarterback-friendly hire. Yep. All right. Well, speaking, got to get to the quarterback. As you know, it always does. It always has a way of circling back there. So they bring in the old school staff, like you're saying, and immediately Stafford goes, well, I'm out. So it's a new GM.
Yeah, he don't want that.
A new coach and a new quarterback is what you're going to have in Detroit. So the question says, this is 3rd and short, 3 rapid-fire ones for you. Where is the best fit for Matthew Stafford? What do you think?
I say New England. I say New England is a perfect choice for him. He can go in there. They have a good defense. They're going to add a couple more guys. They can build on the offense, go out and draft an offensive player, go pick up some guys in free agency. And Matthew Stafford has never been considered a leader, but they don't need his leadership. They need him to throw the ball and make completions down the field. They have enough leadership. They have Bill. They have some of those older veterans on the defensive side of the ball. They have a good offensive line that can protect him. They have a run game. And Bill needs to add another tight end, go get a couple more wide receivers and spend some money in free agency. But I think Matthew Stafford could be a perfect fit there because they don't need him to come in and galvanize everybody like Brady did. They just need him to complete some passes and not throw it into the ground like Kim does every other throw.
So Belichick has a long history of only paying for players if they're on a cheap discount. This would not exactly be that. Is this an exception to that rule?
Well, I would look at Matt and say, hey, can we redo your deal? Can we give you a brand new 2-year deal? And maybe give him 2 years at $20 million per. And if he does X, Y, Z, then he gets a $5 million bonus, another $2 million bonus, another $2 million bonus, and he can get up to $30 million. But you don't care about paying him that money if you're 12-4. You know what I'm saying? And you're number 1 on the AFC in the AFC East. It just doesn't matter. But I think that has to be a strong consideration. You got to spend money in order to get good players, or you're going to continue to go out there with that crap that you had this year.
He might be at the point of his career where he's ready to take a little discount in order to try to win. Like I could definitely see that. Dan Orlovsky, who's very close with them, these are the 3 that he threw out, and I'm going to guess they're the 3 he threw out because he knows. Indy, San Francisco, and Denver. Don't sleep on Elway in this one. Elway may get sneaky and come up and try to get Stafford. So I'll leave you with those 3 to think about, but I really think all of them are in it. Maybe even New Orleans. I mean, there's a lot of quarterback-needy situations. Houston's going to become quarterback-needy. Miami maybe even. Who knows what they're thinking with Tua right now. All right, let's get to the second one. Deshaun Watson, as we're talking about Houston. He will be playing where come next fall?
In Houston, because if I'm Nick Caserio, he used to be with the Patriots, I don't care if I have to give him a piece of the team. I'm doing everything I can. You can't let him go. You cannot let him walk out the door. I don't care if he needs a trainer, if he needs this, if he needs a personal chauffeur. I'm giving Deshaun Watson whatever he needs. He's a great kid. He's been humble. And it was my fault as an organization that I did not allow him to get involved in the head coaching search. I will give him whatever he wants, but there's no way I'm letting him go out of Houston. They'll never, ever, ever find a quarterback with that level of talent ever to come and play in Houston.
It brings up the Aaron Rodgers. It almost circles me back to the Aaron Rodgers thing. Like if if Aaron Rodgers is getting no say in the draft pick and they're drafting his replacement, no say in the head coach and they're bringing in whoever, like why does Watson think that he's going to be able to get all of that same stuff too? You know, it's like it's almost like the game's evolving and the players know that they're this important and they need this kind of say, but you have so many old school minds that are still making decisions in the NFL and they're just so stuck in their old ways. And to me, that there's nothing more personifies that better than the Houston Texans. That's just the most old school, just cannot get out of what it was and not evolve to what it is franchises ever. I mean, it's ugly. I think he's out. I don't know if there's anything Houston can do at this point to keep him. He's gone so public and doubled and tripled down time and time again about getting out of there. I don't see a scenario where he goes back. Yeah. I think it's Jets or Miami. I really do. Yeah, I really do. I think it's Jets or Miami.
Yeah, and if you're Miami,
so we'll go with that. Go ahead, Rod.
Can you? Yeah, I'm just saying. If I'm Miami, I definitely look. If I have an opportunity to get him, I definitely look to upgrade because if they had him this year, and they had some injuries at the wide receiver position. Dude, they just imagine if Miami had Deshaun Watson. It would have really been ugly. And who knows? It could have been those Miami Dolphins winning that AFC East. You just don't know. That's how good he is.
I completely agree with you this year, but if you get Watson, you're going to be in that thing for the next decade. And can you imagine Miami being a cool football town too? I mean, that would really be sharp. That would be a cool, like South Beach blowing up as a football town would really be cool. All right, the third one, Eric Bieniemy. If you were Eric Bieniemy, where would you want to go? What's the perfect job for Bieniemy right now?
I think the perfect job for Bieniemy is to stay where he's at this year. Absolutely stay where he's at. Don't go to Houston. That's like we just talked about. That's a bad choice. I don't know if there's any other head coaching jobs available right now at this point in time. But if I were Eric Bieniemy, I would stay exactly where I'm at. There's still teams are going to lose, 4 or 5 teams. There are going to be 4 guys getting fired, and he's going to come up and have an opportunity for another head coaching job. If I were him, and I know people say, well, if you're an African American, if you're a black man, there's you shouldn't pass up an opportunity to be a head coach. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't, but you should in this case because you're only going to probably get a couple years. Because you're going to lose if you go to Houston. So I would suggest that Eric Bieniemy, my former teammate, he stay right where he's at and then just see what happens next year.
He's going to get a chance to be a part of a dynasty with the Chiefs, like, probably we're going to talk about forever, right? And nobody that I've ever talked to feels like there's going to be any regression from Kansas City next year. They may be better than they are this year. That's what we saw from last year to this. Why not next year even better than that? And so he probably gets his pick. But, I mean, shoot, we said this last year about Bieniemy, man. It's like we said last year he's going to get his pick of the litter when it comes to all these jobs. And they go hire a bunch of nobodies. A bunch of guys, you haven't heard of most of these guys that are getting to look before Bieniemy. Like, I wonder if the fact that he's still in the Super Bowl chase and can't go interview time and time, like, does that have something to do with it? Like, this makes no sense to me that he's not, number one every single time when head coaching jobs pop open. It makes no sense.
I think a lot of people, they may look at Eric Bieniemy and says, how hard is it to coach Patrick Mahomes? And maybe that's working against him other than his skin color, because I don't know if you said it or if somebody else said it, but I'm saying it. If he were white, he would have a head coaching job. He would have that opportunity. And it's just sad. And it hurts me as a former player because, we're good enough for you to use our body, but we're not good enough for you to use our mind. And like I was trying to tell Coach Dungy and Mike Tirico when I were on with them on PFTPM some weeks ago, I said, in order for us we have to have ownership. And the NFL has to do a better job of creating a couple franchises so we can go in there and buy them, and so we could be the owners. African Americans. This is the NFL. Over 75% of guys are black. Yet we don't have any ownership representing us. So what are we going to do? We're going to stand in line and beg, please give us a job, please give us a job. And that's basically what's going on. We're sitting here, we're qualified, we're smart, we're successful, but yet you still won't give us jobs. And it's hurtful, man. To wake up every single day, you're grinding, you're trying to be the best you can be, you know what you bring for an organization, yet you have somebody that never even gave you an opportunity looking down on you and telling you that you're not good enough. That hurts. that hurts. And that's why you see so much fire from black men, because it hurts being told that you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough. It hurts not getting those opportunities, Jack.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.